Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about the U.S. move in Syria, the signal that's being sent, and updates. We're going to start off with a quick recap because a lot of people don't watch over the weekend. Assad's government in Syria has fallen. He has left the country and reportedly received safe refuge in Russia, a longtime ally. Assad's family has ruled the country for about 50 years. Its fall is a huge deal with a lot of international implications. There will be a video down below that's worth watching if you missed it. Over the last 2 weeks or so, factions opposed to Assad made a lightning-fast advance across the country, seizing the capital and causing the government to fall. The group with the most influence currently is HTS. This is not who the U.S. would have picked to come out on top. If Russia is watching, the Syrian forces' moves over the last 2 weeks is what a special military operation is supposed to look like. While Assad's government was falling, the U.S. launched a series of strikes against IS locations and forces inside Syria. There were at least 75 separate strikes, and they were carried out by everything from B-52s to A-10s. We're talking about a pretty intense campaign. There's the obvious message being sent by the U.S. with this. IS will not be allowed to grow in strength. Yes, I know there's a lot of people who might believe that IS was defeated because a certain American politician said that. But it's not true, and it wasn't true then. So, that was one message being sent. IS will not make a comeback. The other was a demonstration of how immediate American air power can be overhead. In short, we could have stopped your advance. The U.S. is quietly signaling that the air assets are in place. Kind of the U.S.'s way of saying, you're not our first choice, but we're not going to war over it. But we could. But we don't want to. Shortly after the strikes, President Biden said, quote, "It's a moment of historic opportunity for the long-suffering people of Syria to build a better future for their proud country. It's also a moment of risk and uncertainty as we turn to the question of what comes next. The United States will work with our partners and the stakeholders in Syria to help them seize an opportunity to manage the risk." It appears the U.S. is taking the stance of trying to stabilize and work with the cards that were dealt, rather than trying to force an outcome as far as Syrian leadership. At least for now. Biden said, quote, "They're saying the right things now, but as they take on greater responsibility, we will assess not just their words, but their actions." So the door is being left open to more than diplomacy. The rumor mill says the U.S. is pushing for a conversation with all the major factions, except IS, obviously. If successful, it might produce real results. Not necessarily for the U.S. foreign policy position, but for the Syrian people. After 13 years of war, it seems like there might be momentum to take a chance on letting the internal politics take its course naturally, which in my opinion is definitely a risk worth taking. The Syrian people want a peaceful transfer of power. Let's hope they get it. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.